Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is while you're watching this. It's mid-December as I've recorded this, and apparently I'm meant to be feeling Christmassy. Well, that never happens with me, being a miserable old Grinch that I am. But we can still have a look at a few things that you may want to consider as last-ish minute stocking fillers for the biker in your life. With the lovely Bryce Dallas Howard being out of my league, married with a family and not desperate, I have to look for something else to go into my stockings. And first of all, I'm going to need some stockings. Well, socks. Now, I know I have a tendency to bang on about Two Wheels for Life, but it's one of the charities I support. In fact, it's the one I do the most volunteering for. And they make these rather natty riding socks. They are available in other colours. Well, I say other colours. The orange bit on the toe and heel can be black or white instead of orange. The sizing is a bit size 7 or 8 to around about size 11. My feet are size 10 and these keep my tootsies warm, or at least warmer than normal socks would. Of course, other charities are available, and if you're supporting a charity, good for you. Moving on to the Machine Mart catalogue, where most of this stuff's going to come from. We've got the set of Allen keys here, 3 different sorts, Imperial, Metric and Torx, although they're not security Torx, they're standard, and they are huge. Here's a standard penknife set of Allen keys, which are exactly the same as the sizes in the red one, but 2/3 the size. It's talking about the red one, there is a slight problem with this, or a slight error really. They've managed to put Metric Allen keys in a red holder. No, Metric goes in blue, Imperial goes in red, but at least these are going to be quite easy to change out because they have a crosshead screw on either end, so it'll be quite easy just to swap the Metric and Imperial Allen keys over if that's what you want to do. Next up, we all love a good multi-tool. Leatherman were the first ones on the market, going back into the late 90s, I recall getting one of these. I much prefer the Gerber suspension. It's spring-loaded pliers, and the shape of the handles is nice, far nicer on the hands. Stanley also did a cheap one. This is one I got. It's about to fall apart. Everything's getting very loose on it, and you can't tighten up the fixings because they have a very strange one. If you fancy getting something for under a tenner, again, Machine Mart, and this Clark 13-in-1 multi-tool. It's stretching it a bit 13. I don't think the saw's going to cut much, and it comes in a blister pack, which you can't open without a knife, which is on the multi-tool, but here we go, let's get it out anyway. It's got all the usual stuff you'll find on a multi-tool. The build quality isn't as high as it could be, but it's under a tenner, so yeah, nice little thing to have. Comes with a little pouch. Chuck it on your bike somewhere because you never know when you're going to need that little thing that isn't in your bike toolkit, like pretty much everything. Blade's locked. To release them, you push down on the plastic bit at the back here. It's a bit easier than the Leatherman where you have to pull out another tool to fold the first one away. If you do small bits of work on some odd size security fixings, is one of these little green boxes. Comes in other colours as well now. This one's quite old, hence the rust on all the bits inside. But there's a lot of security fixings in here. Security Torx, security Allen keys, snake eyes, and a couple of the stranger ones which you won't see very often. But yeah, you can come across them. Bigger sets are available with more choice of tools. There's a couple of more Torx in here, but you can get more Torx in other toolkits as well, along with tri-wings, squares and all other sorts of things. Again, have a look in the Machinery Mart catalogue. The drive piece in the middle, the extension piece which fits in the hole in the middle, it does have a hex on the end of it for going onto a socket or getting a small adjustable spanner on it. You know, whatever you need to do in an emergency to get something off. Got a Japanese bike, get some Japanese tools. For years I went without a proper JIS set of bits. They're not Phillips, they're not Drive, they are a very slightly different shape. A Phillips or a Posi Drive will let you do it once or twice, but if it's a bit tight, and especially some of the smaller heads, then you're risking rounding them off and having to replace them. So you can see these are a slightly different shape. They come with a T-handle, a bit odd. They claim this is a 3-way T-handle, but to be honest, if the bit can only go in the end and either end of the handle, I would classify that as a 2-way rather than a 3-way. As it's the season for giving, here's one of my quick tips. If you've got a standard Allen key and you need to get a bit more torque on it, use a ring spanner. It's quite an easy technique. Slide the ring spanner over the end of the Allen key and you can push down on it with far more torque than you can just on the Allen key itself. So there you have another quick Top tip from the Ranty rider, who says I don't give anything away for free. So there's some ideas for some presents for the rider in your life. Happy Christmas and New Year for 2024. And in case you're wondering, did I swap the Allen keys over between the red and the blue ones to make them correct? Of course I did. But then I don't have a life. Happy riding, tatty bye until the next time.